So here we got what the Dead by Daylight community considers like the meta right now, right? You got your Nurse, your Blight, S tier, best killers in the game, so on and so forth. You know, some of these are disputable here and there, but overall, the general feel. See this shit? See this shit down here? Dirty. Worse than Legion? Worse than Myers minus Tombstone? What the fuck are we even talking about, dude? That's what I'm saying. That's what the point of this fucking video is right here. This right here, that's a real trapper. Alright, let's pull up the stats of the game. So we got 50 matches played. Out of those 50 matches, 43 of them were wins, 7 losses. F tier killer, by the way. 171 kills total. I can't do the quick math on that, but that's at least a kill a game. Best streak, I actually got 2 16 kill streaks. F tier killer, by the way. 13 rage quits. Legitimately had someone tell me that Trapper was OP because he could shut down loops, and that's boring. I like where his head's at, but shut the fuck up. 2 rage quits on my side. Not my best moments. I believe one was me trying to run an aura build on Trapper. Which, if you've never done that, it's really cool. You can see all the survivors as they bend you over and skullfuck you by doing all the gens really fast. It's a good time. And the other one, I believe, was just queued way too late. I was very tired. He got hit with Champion of Light like 3 times in a row and just wasn't feeling it. Just left her there. 5 total of the matches were Badams and Larry's. Larry's actually isn't that bad. Minus the fact that it's horrible for Trapper, but the people I went against, as you'll see in one of my games, were dog shit, and that's really fun. And Badams is just the worst map ever made. The moment someone runs me to the school, I just want to take my keyboard and huck it through a window, you know? It's just not a good time. 4Ks, we got 37 out of the 43 wins. Bad killer, F tier killer, by the way. 37 4Ks. The thing about Trapper that's actually like pretty good is like his traps can kind of secure you a 4K, because you can either slug and then chase the last person down, you might catch them in a trap, or if they're looking while they're looking for the hatch, they're kind of rushed and running around, and they might slip up and run into a trap, and that's just a free kill. And accused of cheating once, as you can see here in the clip, I have an actual inbred psychopath trying to tell me that I was cheating on Trapper. Apparently I can cast spells now, and I was resetting pallets in front of his eyes. He's got it on video, so I'm exposed. But, yeah, it's good times. Alright, and on to the builds. First build, best build. Pretty much go with this build, always. We've got Save the Best for Last. This is an arguable perk. I love it. I think it feels fantastic on Trapper, because if you get against good survivors, your traps become the most worthless thing on planet Earth, and so now you're just an M1 killer. And how can you be a good M1 killer? Insta resets on your swings. I have a game where I get the most save the best for last value you've ever seen. Just reset after reset with 8 tokens. It's real nice. Obviously, there's like a bunch of downsides. You have to avoid the obsession. So if you get unlucky there, that sucks. They also nerfed this perk because M1 killers were, they were really getting up there, and behavior decided they need to step the fuck down. So if you're not feeling Save the Best for Last, a lot of other perks you can go with. Pop's a great one. Deadlock is also a really good slowdown perk. Really want to go for a slowdown if you're not going for this, because there's not really a bunch of chase perks. Agitation is alright. Just for getting them to the hooks and stuff like that. That's an arguable one you can make. Corrupt Intervention. Run this perk on Trapper. It's the best perk in the game on Trapper. There's no argument. It gives you 2 minutes to set up traps. Should you spend 2 minutes setting up traps? Fuck no. But it gives you the time to do that. It gives you time to set up traps, find some people, mess around a little. Like it's best perk on Trapper. Do it. Put it on. Pain Res is just like the best perk in the game right now, so like you just have to run it. I mean, not having to kick gens on a character that is so fucking slow and has so much setup is beautiful. If the less you have to kick gens, the better. It just slows down the game. Technically 100% of a gen in total. That's fucking fantastic. and No Way Out, because this killer again is not very good, and so you need some sort of security. This No Way Out's pretty easy to secure. You might not always get your 4 stacks, but if you can get 2 or 3, it might just get you that 3k, get you that win, right? For add-ons, we're running Eerie Stone. I love this add-on. There's a lot of other add-ons you can run, but this one's just my favorite. There might be a couple traps here and there that are set up in decent spots, and you can just ignore them. Don't even have to worry about them. Or in this case, when we're running Trapper Sack, the reason we're running Eerie Stone is you might get some greasy little gremlin that follows you around and disarms all your traps. Well, this says fuck off, right? Like, it's you walk away, he disarms your trap, you say, oh no, that trap's gone, and then they call out to their teammates, Shack's no longer trapped, tee-hee-hee. Teammate runs over there, jumps into a trap because it reset after 30 seconds. Now you're causing infighting. Now these two aren't friends anymore because one of them fucking lied straight to his face. It's a good time. It's a real ball buster. Trapper Sack is just the best add-on on Trapper because behavior has not fixed trap spawns since the game released. So most of the traps just spawn in the middle of Idaho or underneath a hook, because if there's a spot I want to be trapped, it's directly under the hook when I'm trying to hook a survivor. By the way, one downside to Eerie Stone: if you're going to run it without Trapper Sack, you're going to get your own hooks trapped if you don't pick up all your traps. It really sucks. Just remember that if you're running Eerie Stone. Great add-on, but big sacrifice there. And then Putrid Rope, just because carrying survivors to hooks, you know, I mean, you can run whatever here, but if you're really going sweaty, Putrid Oak. But for our second build, we're going with the Hex build. Hex build actually gets a lot of value on Trapper. Not because of Trapper, but more just because he needs the game to slow the fuck down. And when you're running Hex build, you're essentially running a Pentimento build with a bunch of add-ons to make Pentimento better. Tier 1 Pentimento, 30% repair speed. It's unbeatable. Like, it is, the slowdown is crazy. You'll see in the game I show where I get no value out of my hexes because 3 of them pop within the first like minute of the game. Who cares? You need 1 stack of Pentimento, and this perk is the greatest perk in the game. You get 2 stacks, you're ruining people. You now have Sloppy Butcher and like Old Ruin essentially on 1 perk. Don't worry about getting above 2 stacks. Really, it does not matter. Also, the likelihood of you getting it's pretty low. You'll have to walk across the map most of the time. Like, if it's a bigger map, to get like even 3 or 4, you're pretty much never going to get 5. I don't even think with this build, unless they're running boons, you really can't get 5. So mainly you're worried about 1 stack. If you can, 2 is perfect, but if you just get 1 on Pentimento, the value is insane. Devour, I played 12 games with the Hex build, and I got 2 Devour values. I think I exposed people, and I got 2 downs with it, and I think I killed someone in 1 game. That is it. Really, you're running this for the meme, and the off chance they don't find it, you get lucky. Undying is obviously just to give you more totem spawns, and also might save your Devour. And then Ruin's great if it works. It's not really going to work because you're a Trapper and you don't really have a way to scare people away from gens unless you walk to them. So there's that, but if it does get its value, it's great. Again, it's more just like the overall feeling. You can replace Ruin with like Plaything if you wanted to. You can get a lot of totems that way. You get your stacks of Pentimento up. What is it? Yeah, Blood Favor, another pretty solid one on Trapper, you know, stopping people from, same with Crowd Control. They're both, like, those are both ones you could replace Ruin with. It does get a lot of value. Now, again, we're running Eerie Stone. It's a solid one. You really don't have a lot of time to be placing traps with this build, because, like, your slowdown starts after the game begins, not, like, before. So you kind of need to just hope some of your traps are good. And then Fastening Tools. So for those first, like, you know, the first 30 seconds of the game or whatever, you can just get those traps down, bang, bang, bang. And then as well, that 25% matters a ton, because the slowdown it creates, like when you hook a survivor and someone steps in a trap and you're like, ooh, am I going to make it? This makes it so there's a lot higher chance you're going to get to that survivor and get them down before they can get out of the trap. It's big, and you'll see that in some of my games. And then third build, this is a fun build. I like this build. This is an OG Dead by Daylight build. This is like back when Spirit came out. This was a big thing, but it's not really played anymore, but it could still have some value and some fun. So you're running Spirit Fury and Enduring. Obviously you're running into pallets, you're eating pallets, so that way you can get a free hit on people. Corrupt, just because you're still Trapper and you still need slowdown. And then I run Surge because you'll see we run Grave of Glenvale. So, and we're basically an M1 killer anyways. So we're just running around and we're just hitting people. So Surge is going to get a lot of value, get a little bit of slowdown because that's the goal. You could obviously replace these. Like, I mean, really, you could replace Surge with No Way Out if you wanted to, if you really wanted to try it. But again, this isn't really a sweat build. It's more of like a fun build to just run at people and have some fun. Grave of Glenvale because it's a really good map for just like it's a close quarters map. You don't have to look very far for survivors. You can run them down. Obviously, all the loops aren't great. I mean, if they take you to Saloon and they know what they're doing, they're gonna run you for a good time. Not great, but it's the one I'd pick for this. Midwich would also work. It's a good one. And then again, we're running Fastening Tools Eerie Stone. This one even more, just because like we're really not like I said, this is a go build. We're not placing traps, so Eerie Stone is just going to set traps wherever they are, which actually on Grave of Glenvale, they're pretty good spots. Like a couple of them are kind of cheeky, where like survivors are going to try to drop down to sneak from you and they'll end up jumping into a trap. It's pretty fun. And again, Fastening Tools just to give you that extra time. You're not really going to be setting traps, like I said, so it doesn't really matter about setting speed. It's more about just like the survive. Like you can place a couple traps at the start of the game really, really fast, and then you're also again you got that slowdown on the survivors. The combo on this add-on is actually pretty insane.
Mount or
There may be a double up on audio here, just because I'm a fucking idiot, but we'll try to avoid that hopefully.
Someone right up here. Bush hook save later.
Just like beginning simple stuff at the match. So this is actually, I call this like the God Trapper game, because essentially what this is just it's going to punish people for their altruism. That's really a great thing about Trapper is his traps can kind of catch people off guard, especially if there's no communication, which is isn't always avoidable, but it's nice, right? So this is just basic setup. This is where Corrupt comes into play. Like, you know, you spend at least 30 seconds to a minute setting up traps, and then you can kind of worry about generators after that. So because I'm running Brutal here, because this is just kind of me figuring out my builds, just kind of kicked that to let her figure out, because I knew she wasn't going to get far with her distance. I personally like to respect pallets depending on the situation.
Yeah. Life, okay. Fair enough.
Pops are life, so, you know, rather than chaser, you're a Trapper. You don't have much chase. Set a trap, figure it out. She pulls a confusing move here and gets immediately back on the gen in front of me, which is appreciated. Again, I don't think this is the most skillful of the team. This is more just showing what the Trapper's potential is with his traps.
Okay. You going up this way? You gonna drop that pallet? Oh, you fucked that one up. Whoopsies. Alright, we're starting to get some survivors that actually know what they're doing. You have boil over. Whoopsies. You got it in my car.
Because prior to this, I didn't count. I actually didn't count like 10 games prior to this because I had like just the worst survivors ever. I think it was just a rank reset or something like that. But anyways, that trap that she just stepped in there, you'll see comes into play crazy throughout this game because for some reason no one figured out that this is where they're getting trapped.
Struggling with the traps today.
Also, note, always hit people in traps. Don't pick people up out of traps. There's too much RNG there. You might pick up the trap if they get out of it at the moment. There's just a lot. Like, you can get flashlight saves. Just down them. Then you can worry about that. Worry about it after.
Okay.
And they've kind of screwed themselves here. I've got a trio of hooks. I've got traps set up. One of them's already hit second stage. Like no gens are done. This game's already over, right? This is the beauty of Trapper. It's rare people let you do this, but if they do, you know, it lets you happen. So I try to avoid tunneling the Nia there. I'm pretty sure the game's over anyways, but I don't quite want to run that. But there's Leon running into this exact same trap again. Like I said, the beauty of altruism and traps. Always go for the hit when they're mending. Just makes them take extra time, right?
You get that heal?
Your little chirping in the background, it's my birds, by the way. That's why I switched to doing this for mics, just so I could avoid that. Lovely pets in the background.
You're dead on hook. Oh, wow, these guys are good, and they just fucking fucked it to traps, huh?
Something to pay attention to here. She saboed that hook. I know she's already going for the sabo, so I sacrificed the fact that I know Nia's gonna get off because of this. I might as well get her down and get her out of the way. Also, because she was the one that hit second stage, it kind of worked out. She dies for that. Now I just got two guys have untrapped themselves over there, or unhooked themselves over there. I gotta worry about them. I know I can't pick up Nia because there's no way I get her to a hook. She has boil over, and I dropped her. So I'm just gonna avoid her for now. Save her for last. Yeah, Bill. Again, like I said, these aren't the greatest of survivors. This is more just a great trap game to show off. But Bill does some questionable stuff there. You know, look away from the fireworks, obviously. And like I said, the game's already over. This is them pretty much giving up.
Well, okay.
Oh, this was the game, huh?
Alright.
Yes, it was.
My biggest challenge now is going to be finding Nia.
And this is an example of, like, you know, if you're an intermediate killer. Oh, this is what I was talking about, by the way, with Eerie Stone setting traps directly in front of your hook. Be careful of that.
She's gonna get off, so I should just walk over here.
But yeah, if you're like getting new to killer and you're trying to trap her, this is the benefit to him. If you can just like understand loops and such like that. Because I knew she was gonna drop off, I just took her to the edge of the map to try to keep her from as much distance as possible.
Did she get attached before I get her?
Because I had enduring and brutal strength, just eat the pallet and just keep going. Because there's not much. This is pretty much a dead zone. She's gonna step in the trap.
Yeah, no.
That is
So
one of my favorite things on Trapper. Having a trap outside of a pallet.
Holy shit.
Exactly. Having a trap outside of a pallet, though, for that case, is always beautiful. When they think they got you with this pallet stun, and you're actually just shoving them into their traps. It really works out. Got the hatch. It was nice. Number one mistake I make here, and I pay for it at the end. If you spawn in front of the exit gate, trap the exit gate. It's one of the strongest things on Trapper, especially if you're... I'm not this game, but if you're running Eerie Stone, it becomes a big deal. Like, so... always trap the exit gate. The fact that I didn't actually does cost me this game. So, strengths for placing traps in... I actually placed this one too close here, because I was a little rusty, but... placing, yeah, for Larry's, you want to place it in front of windows you think they're going to loop you on, because you really can't trick people on this map. People are going to see your traps, so you more want to force them to jump into them by, like, vaulting, because vaulting windows is a pretty good option in this map, and it's shutting that down is huge. Again, I've got brutal strength still here, so I'm gonna eat pallets if I can. Not gonna kill the momentum on the chase quite yet. This one's pretty lucky, actually. She runs directly into her teammate and into the trap I just placed. So that works out. I get a free hit. Like I said, always down them before you pick them up. Pain res, nice here. Because you're not sure where they are on the map, you know. Keep a trap near a hook. Doorways like this, they can kind of work for traps. Like, they're not great hidden, but sometimes people don't notice.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Just gonna hit her and let her go. You don't, like I said, I typically don't want to try to tunnel people. It's just not fun. Like, obviously, if you need it for a win, like you're really desperate for a win, it's a good strategy, but it's just, it's not in the spirit of the game. I'm not a fan of it. I caught Ada vaulting there, so just free hit.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna step in the trap, aren't I?
This is the case where I said, like I said, I placed it way too close to the window.
His traps are so broken.
So like I'm mad at the game, but really that's my fault. I mean, I don't think that trappers should be allowed to place traps that close to the window if they're not going to hit, but again, that's just more like understanding the tech of trapper. You want to place it ever so slightly in front of the window because they don't jump over it like that. Luckily, she messes up that loop completely, so. Thing comes in for the flash, or yeah, the fireworks again. I don't know why this day I had a lot of people running fireworks. Don't run through a pallet like that, by the way. That was a mistake on my part. I can hear him doing the unhook, so I just immediately turn. And this is where playing mean comes into play, right? So, current situation, they haven't done a gen yet. I've already gotten 3 hooks. Or sorry, they've only done 1 gen. They've already gotten 3 hooks. I've got kind of this situation set up. I hear the person coming here. You know, I don't support camping, but when it comes to like just blatantly running in front of the killer, you don't want to ignore them, right? It's a free down. It's a free down. If they're gonna make it that easy, you should go for it. Now I've got a pretty good hold. I got 2 people set up. I got traps around here. I'm kind of just gonna sit here, and I mean, you can call it camping, but this is like it's more just like you have 2 people. You know where one of the survivors is gonna have to come if they want to win the game. You're just gonna hover. Like this is how you get wins, right? You're gonna play a little mean, but that's the name of the game, right? If they're good survivors, they're gonna be running the best perks. I hear her running, so I could cut her off here. Yeah, you want to punish the altruism. You want to like you got to secure your 3K. Now this is kind of a neat trick here. This unhooking is conspicuous action gets rid of his borrowed time, so that's why I waited for him to go for the unhook instead of just lunging at him. It takes away his borrowed time, so he doesn't get that that mending state.
Oh, he's dead.
Bill's now dead on hook because he reached 2nd stage. The other person also died on hook. They happened to not get rescued in time. Ran Fang into that trap. You should have saw that one coming. Again, that typically wouldn't get a better player, but you know, the quality of survivors does go up from here. Now, here comes the whole problem that I was talking about running into. If I had have trapped that gate, this would be a different end game. She lets the person die. She's gonna go for hatch. Typical. You know, they have only done 1 gen, so just might as well try to get 1 person out. But you'll see here, I actually get quite lucky. And find hatch immediately. Now, if you remember, that gate on the left there is the one, because I put that trap there in the bush, but I didn't trap the gate. And because of that, I'm like, oh, maybe she'll go into that trap. Let me check this gate first. Big mistake. If I had trapped that gate originally, I would have got a 4K this game. Instead, I'm going to get the 3K. She's going to get out on that gate. Just like that.
Good. She's down to the other gate. I think it's fucked. Yep.
I did fuck it. This is the save the best for last game. This shows a lot of the value in save best for last. On RPD of all maps, which is not a great trapper map. Indoor maps don't do great for him. His traps are very visible. The loops on this map are not great. The size of this map is not really great for Trapper because he has no mobility whatsoever. Immediately drop God Pallet. You're like, we're okay with eating that. Like, that is a really potent pallet. To have it drop 10 seconds into the game is big. free hit, so you get Save the Best for Last token, and again, another God pallet dropped in the center of the map. So the 2 best pallets for looping in the center, along 2 gens, are already gone. We take those. We've got our Save the Best for Last token. I eat that pallet because I'm hungry, apparently. But keep going with Chase. You don't really need to break that one. It's not quite as important, and you want to keep the chase going. Here's a good mind game pallet. Luckily, she doesn't react in time, so I get that off. And that's 1 down. Corrupt just ended, so you know, lots of delay. And 2 Save the Best for Last tokens is very big. We reach for this. I don't think we make this though. Yeah, keep that pallet. Again, it's a fine pallet to lose. As you can see there, someone stepped into one of our traps. That's an injure. She, for some reason, decides not to loop on this pallet, instead to go for the death pallet. Don't ever loop on this pallet. If you're not getting a stun and pressing W away, do not do this. It's literally impossible. Like, unless the killer's brain dead, it's impossible to lose on that loop. But, again, we got really lucky this game. We don't run into the obsession pretty much at all. So 4 Save the Best for Last tokens already. So our M1 potential is pretty crazy. Luckily get a hit there on that stun. 5 tokens, so now we're really just... Our recovery is crazy at this point. And again, none of these people are the obsession. The Kate actually hides from me pretty much the entire game up until the end, so it's perfect timing. Recovery. Do this. Pretty much instant, and like she can't even make it up the stairs. We're already on top of her. There's the Kate there. I'm just ignoring her, picking up the person. She comes in to take a hit for some reason. And again, Save the Best for Last is still useful while you're holding someone. If you have Save the Best for Last in agitation, it's pretty much like impossible to like... You can hold people for a while at that point as well and get some pretty good resets. But again, they're just... At this point, they're panicking. I mean, 2 of them are on hook. They've done no gens. It's pretty much game over. This person's just giving up. Like, again, she thinks she can make any distance, but I have 8 stacks. She's already just done. The recovery is insane. That's 2 people dead on hook. This third one's gonna die, and I do get pretty lucky. For some reason, this Kate just decided to hide in a corner. I think she was trying to FOV tech me, but just doesn't work out for her. Of course, every time you hit the obsession, you lose 2 stacks, so it's really good. Like, it's so fortunate I found her at the end of the game. And that's a 4K. No gens done. Always wait for the jump. Or they might have deli. But that's the game. This is going to be a hex game. You see the value in the hexes. You'll also see me get absolutely obliterated because these survivors really knew what they were doing when it comes to hex spawns. Either that or my hex spawns were horrible. I didn't really even get a chance to check them. They blow up so fast. But there's that setting speed I was talking about. That's really useful here. So I see my 1 totem and I'm like, alright, this isn't too bad. I can trap this. You know, try to keep this protected. And that actually turns out to be my Devour, so... And this is, like, when you don't have Corrupt, this is where that, that pain comes into play. I'm not used to playing with Ruin, so I tried to kick the gen. That was silly on me, but... yeah, if you don't have Corrupt or something to slow them down, they're just gonna gen rush you like that immediately at the beginning of the game. Gonna go check my Devour because I accidentally chased the survivor that way. And there we go. So that's 2 of my totems. 3 of my totems. Gone. So I've now lost my Undying and my Ruin. Luckily that trap I set is there, so... She's gonna try to go for the flashlight save, which is kind of silly. You just look away. She jumps it. You look up immediately. Almost step into my trap. I gotta be careful. She's going for the Sabo here. Hit her off of it. She actually ends up... I think she kills herself here by accident. She tried a 360, but that didn't work out. So... And now the 2 gens they had already started, because we had no slowdown, are gonna pop here, but... we've got our Pentimento into play, so like even then, these gens that they almost had done slowed down a decent bit. But really it comes into play here now. It's like, for the rest of the game, they're going to be worrying about that Pentimento, because to start a gen, it's going to be 30%. I'm walking away so I can get my Devour stacks, because in this game I thought I was going to get some value out of Devour, but you'll actually see it's really heartbreaking how screwed over my Devour gets. The Survivor somehow sees my... they must not be in communication, because they never end up finding this, at least not for a while. So you want to try to avoid running Survivors to your hexes, because you don't want, obviously, you don't want them to see it. Playing with a Survivor in the jungle gym. The nice thing about Trapper is if you you already have places trapped and survivors want to make distance from you, like this. I don't know what the Kate's doing here, but like this, like you can end up, like, instead of keeping them on a loop, you kind of want them to make distance because you want them to do this and run into your trap. Unfortunately, she sidesteps my trap there. Luckily, I already have this area trapped, so you coax her to the right, get her into the trap, get her trapped. Reset this trap on the window, because even though they know that trap is there, or Bill knows that trap's there, it's just a really potent trap. They either have to get rid of it, or they have to jump into it. It's just a really good choke point. That's also why you don't want to break that door there, because you have that trap to, like, you have to guide them into it, kind of thing. Bill walks around my trap there, unfortunately, and the window, like I said, he goes for the save, jumps in the window. Now again, 25% extra time, just enough time for me to get there and get the hit on her. That's where that value in fastening tools comes into play. Luckily, basement spawns right here, so I can just throw her into basement. And if you notice that there, I got my 3rd stack on Devour right as they found my Devour. That's how useless hexes are in this game now. It's really unfortunate. Again, Pentimento makes up for it, but it's not necessarily the most fun build when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. I don't jump out the window there because I actually want them to run towards that. Get a stack on my Pentimento again. Just keep moving along. So now we got 2 stacks on our Pentimento, so two survivors trying to recover right now. It's essentially like Sloppy Butcher. Slows them down, it's great. I try to mind game him a bit here on this, and I think I do end up getting him, but it's more his fault than me actually out mind gaming him here. I should have just taken the pallet. Luckily, I did catch him off guard. And again, because of where we're at, he gets put in the basement as well. So that's 2 survivors in the basement. Against Trapper, that's pretty much a death sentence because of his traps. It's really nice. I can keep this area nice and trapped. Like, they untrapped that window, but I'm just going to go back and reset it. That speed as well with the setting of traps is really nice here. So yeah, just gonna throw a trap on the corner. Half the time it won't get them, but there's just a small chance you get a survivor not paying attention, or you get an unhook and they're not communicating. So Kate actually pulls a funny here. She avoids that trap in order to just end up getting down by me. But remember that she was avoiding that trap because she knew it was there. So I take a weird pathing to get to Bill here. I don't know why I did this, but it ends up working out because of that 25% extra time. So that is nice. So we hook 2 people in basement. They're guaranteed dead. 2 people down. This is pretty much a guaranteed win. This is what I was talking about with Eerie Stone. It can do that sometimes. It's really terrible, like a terrible design. I really wish Behavior would fix the trap spawns. They should never spawn underneath a hook. That's the most pointless spot for a trap. I can understand the idea of like just trapping an unhooked survivor, but that's just, I don't know, it's just gimmicky and silly. Just spawn them in actual choke points, or like at least somewhat near choke points, to make the trapper somewhat viable. And then I go around looking for Kate here. She ends up pulling a pro player move here on me. She like straight out of YouTube here. She's gonna she's saving her unbreakable. She's sitting under a pallet waiting for me to find her. I find her, pops him, flashlight save, pallet stun, the whole shebang. She gets me really good on this. Now, if you remember, she just took me to this loop and avoided the trap. After all those crazy plays, she immediately runs back into the trap. I don't, like, I'm dumbfounded here. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. So, that is a 4K with the Hex. And again, no gens got done after the 2 stacks Pentimento. The slowdown is crazy. And this one is my fun build. This is my Dead Dog Saloon, just run at people. And hit them. I run Brutal Strength here just for the extra speed, because you're breaking pallets to get your Spirit Fury. Corrupt would definitely be the better one. Just again, it's just a really good slowdown perk. Quick setting of traps, and then we're just looking for survivors. We're not even worried. We're gonna break this. If you get a chance to break this early on Dead Dog Saloon, you do it. It just shuts down Killer Shack, which is really nice. And then this Nia's a pain in my ass this entire game. She actually she's running Quick and Quiet, Lithe, and Deception. It doesn't really get me, but the Quick and Quiet always throws me off when people have it. I go to shut down God Pallet. So God Pallet's already been dropped, which is awesome. We're okay with that, but the Lithe gets her away here, unfortunately. But Trapper has traps, so this person gets out on the first try, which is again really unfortunate for us, but we still end up making it to her. First gen's already done because we have no slowdown. That's the downside of this build. Again, this build is not necessarily the most meta build. It's just a fun build. It's I love running Spirit Fury and getting that. You'll see here we get some like great downs where like people just make time to their pallet and then they end up getting screwed over. I don't know what I was swinging at there, to be honest. Always take advantage of the fact that you are not affected by dropping and survivors are. Now this is what I was talking about, the saloon and looping. I was a little rusty here, so I really mess up loops here. So if someone knows what they're doing, they're gonna juicy a little bit here. I just get completely fucking bamboozled and lost. I don't even know what I was playing here. But keeping this gen down on Dead Dog Saloon is a really important and smart thing to do. If you can stop the survivors from getting this gen done and have them stuck to it all game, it's really nice. Walk around instead of vaulting, just a bit faster. Again, I'm just getting absolutely sauced by the survivor. They did me dirty on this one. This isn't even Trapper to blame. This is just me being bad. But luckily, this Kate runs into me. And you ignore the good survivor, and they run into traps. Even the best of survivors can run into traps. It's great. That's just a random trap that got set by Eerie Stone. I can hear the injured Kate on this gen. Again, you want to pressure this gen. You see if that trap on the ground that I set earlier, for when they drop down, it is really like it does end up getting them later on, but it's a fun one because you pressure them off the gen, they drop down into the trap, and it gets them. Good time. Kate's just running me on a loop, which again, if you remember, we're running Spirit Fury Enduring. I want to run loops. Now I've got my Spirit Fury. Now I'm going to be as aggressive as I possibly can. I'm going to run through pallets. I'm going to make her jump this. And I'm going to walk around. Luckily, I end up mind gaming her here, so she doesn't understand that I'm right there. That's the surge value on this map. It's hitting like 4 gens there. It's just only one of them was active, but that is the nice thing about surge. It's a bit of slowdown, enough to get you going. No one's on that. We're looking for survivors. This is also where the nooses are is also a great gen to pressure. It's really killer sided. Overall, this map is pretty killer sided, and that's why I think it works for this. Like I said, Midwich is another good one. There's where that trap comes into play. You know, I walk up to pressure them, they jump down into the trap. Unfortunately, she had a teammate there, so she takes a hit for her. But it ends up working out. Remember, I still have that Spirit Fury enduring, so like I said, they make space, doesn't matter, I get the down. Surge procs, we get a trap in the middle of nowhere, because this Nia isn't paying any attention. Because even the best of survivors sometimes get caught off guard just by rushing to go make plays. I end up chasing this Nia because, like I said, if a survivor runs into you like this, you're gonna go after them. It's a injured survivor. She does the same thing she did last time with Lythe. I eat the pallet because I want my Spirit Fury stacks. She doubles back over. That's her deception there. That's what I was talking about, the deception Lythe quick and quiet combo. This is exciting because of this build. It's just like, alright, let me have these pallets. Alright, my Spirit Fury is ready. Let me tank a pallet, let me down you. I don't even think I end up needing it here, though. She ends up messing up the loop. So, I get the 360 off. Surge reaches. Surge value. It's great. I know they were on that gen because Surge procced on it, so I'm going to run to it. They get it done, I believe? Oh no, not yet. So, get a free hit. Now they get it done, I believe, right? Yes. There was someone else on it. She drops down, runs into the trap. It's one of my favorite traps on this map. It's gimmicky, and it won't always work, but it's so much fun when it does. Unfortunately, she runs into me. I try to ignore her there because she was just off the hook. I'll let her be. Like I said, I don't intend to tunnel. If people accidentally get tunneled by me, I try to avoid it. But I mean, if it's inevitable, I'm not going to ignore them. This person I didn't realize is dead on hooks, so they just gave up. I don't reward people giving up, especially for this. It was more for the video. I'm trying to get kills, but I also didn't really understand the fact that she didn't want to loot me there. I'm Trapper running the most fucking dog shit build I could. I don't know why why they'd give up, but so it is. Oh. Get some great trap value here. Surge procs, don't even have to kick that. Fun fact about Spirit Fury. Did not know if... I don't know if that's an intended interaction, but if you notice there, she missed the pallet stun, and I broke the pallet. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if that's intended. I don't know if it's to do with Enduring or Spirit Fury. I could be a noob, and that could be a known tech, but I've never seen that before. But it was a fun thing to learn while I was doing this build. Looking around, I see the Nia. You eat those. It's always heartbreaking when you see them running directly at a trap and they just at this last second turn left and you're just like, oh, come on, it was there. I don't swing at that because I don't have that kind of internet. If he throws a deception at me, it does not work. We've really created a dead zone because of our Enduring, and Spirit Fury, which is nice, because we've eaten all those pallets in the early. I actually ended up stepping on my trap here. I don't know how I didn't notice it there, looking back at it, but You know, you live, you learn. Again, like I said, survivors love to loop around the saloon. It is a nightmare for an M1 killer, really. The biggest thing to avoid. But Midwich would also work for this build, for that reason. We now have our Spirit Fury, so now we'll just run at her. Doesn't matter if she takes us to a pallet, we're just gonna eat it. And she's down. If you notice, they only have one gen left to do. 2 survivors dead, so it was a closer game because I had none of my slowdown perks besides Surge. But this is just more of a fun M1 build. We're not really worried. We don't necessarily need a win with this. We do end up getting it, but we don't need it. I believe this 8 gets unlucky and steps in a trap, if I remember correctly. Oh no, she doesn't. He wants to make it to this pallet. We get a free hit for that. He makes distance, and I believe we force her over this vault here. Yep. Kind of just a win there, unless she has balanced. Which she does. Eat the pallet, because we have Spirit for Enduring. She doesn't want us to eat the pallet. Just kidding, she baits us. Good times. Little shift tech there. And I kill her. I don't mind getting the 3k here, and I look for the hatch, but I'm never phased by a 3k. 3k is still a win. That's also how I did the math on that. So this last clip is just to show anyone trying to argue that the game is killer-sided and that's why I won. You're just gonna watch me suffer through good survivors. These weren't survive with friends, by the way. I talked to them afterwards. There was a duo, and then the other 2 were solo survivors. And they absolutely sauced me. So you can see that person up there trying to flashlight me from the heavens. I eat the pallet, go for the break. I'm going to try to mind game him here for a bit, but I realize with the 2 survivors there's no chance of me mind gaming it. So I believe I end up eating the pallet. Oh no, I do get the down, okay. Surge value, break the pallet. And I go for the pickup. I swing, try to bait out, doesn't happen. Background player zooms in. Done. Big weakness with an open map like Dead Dog. Or Grave of Glenville, whatever you want to call it. That's what this last part is going to be. Just the pain. Like if you ever want to think that Trapper is or that the game is killer-sided and that's why I was winning, this is the painful truth about that. I'm going to go for him. I'm going to try to wait out his timer. At this point I'm panicking. I'm just really angry. I've only got 2 hooks and 2 gens. He dead hards me, of course. This guy ends up running into me and just tries to loop me on a post. I do get a down on him. Get your surge value. Attempt to look at the wall to be safe. Decisive. Decisive. This is before Decisive got buffed, by the way. It's now going to be even more prevalent. Oh, hey. I was chasing 2 survivors, but if someone got trapped, let me down them real quick. I'm going to pick up looking into the wall. And flashbanged. Also, there was a flashlight there. There was 2 different people there to save her. Not a 4-man, by the way. I got my Spirit Fury Enduring. Eats the Enduring. Gets the free down. I saw that ace, but I didn't think about him. Doesn't matter. Flashlight save. It's an open map. I can't avoid it, right? Notice in the background, the Ace and Steve are there. I mind gamer. I win the down. And flashlight saved from a Fang Min. Also, if you've noticed, I've gotten like 7 or 8 downs now. I have 3 hooks. This is pain. This is the pain we know. Luckily, I've played this game before, you know, for hundreds of hours, probably close to 1,000 hours. I don't really get phased by all this. Also, if you notice, she avoids my trap there and then proceeds to do my favorite thing. It does not matter though. I down her, pick her up, flashlight. But it is just a reminder that like it's just a game at the end of the day. There's gonna be people like this that are way better than you, or just way more coordinated, and there's not much you can do about it really. Like, I mean, I could be playing Nurse or something. That's the weakness, that I am playing a Trapper, unfortunately. But it's just all fun, right? At the end of the day, you can't get mad at it. That's why I end up like I didn't rage quit on this game. I probably could have, and it would have been deserved. But I decided to play it through and, you know, try to show the losses, the pain that can come from playing this game. Unfortunately, I missed that. I try to respect a god palette that's not there for some reason. Build my bloodlust. Down him, and you'd think, 1 gen left. I've only gotten 3 hooks. Just kidding. Flashlight save. Background player. Good times. And also the guy I was chasing, of course he had adrenaline, so now I have to go through all this pain. So, I think this was deserved. I camped for 1 kill. Look at this. They don't get it, but they tried to flashlight stun me through a cactus. I don't even know how they didn't flashlight stun me there, but they tried. But at the end of the day, all that really matters is this tier list. This is where it's at. Trapper will probably never get buffed to a point where it actually matters. The speed buff was cool and all, but I would like it if he was actually like a character. Like I always love the comparison of like they released the Unknown, whose like ability is pretty fucking like it's pretty cool. It's like it can be kind of hard to hit, so it's got that like risk factor. But they also just gave him basically better teleport than like Freddy, Hag, Sadako. This character exists in the same game where if Trapper steps into his trap, he gets stunned and has to keep walking. But a survivor can walk around his trap if they just know it's there. Behavior loves the Trapper, by the way. Anyways, we can all still agree though that Freddy's the worst killer in the game.